Have you ever pondered the origins of the mighty Roman Empire, one of the most powerful civilizations in history? Our journey begins in 753 BC, with the founding of Rome by its first king, a man by the name of Romulus. Picture this: a small settlement, nestled along the banks of the Tiber River, surrounded by 7 hills. It's difficult to imagine that this humble beginning could eventually give rise to one of the most powerful empires the world has ever known. Under Romulus, Rome was more of a kingdom than an empire. It was a burgeoning city, growing in wealth and power with each passing day, each passing year. But Rome was not built in a day, as the saying goes. This growth took hundreds of years, with the city slowly spreading its influence across the Italian peninsula. By the time we reached 275 AD, Rome had become a force to be reckoned with. It had stretched its control far and wide, reaching the distant shores of the Mediterranean. From the sun-baked sands of North Africa to the cold, rugged landscapes of Northern Europe, Rome's influence was inescapable. This was a time of unparalleled growth, marked by the construction of grand architectural marvels, the development of advanced legal systems, and the spread of an enduring culture. Rome was not just a city or an empire, it was a beacon of civilization, shining brightly in a world that was often shrouded in the shadows of turmoil and uncertainty. But Rome's journey was not an easy one. It was fraught with challenges, from internal strife to external threats. Yet, despite these obstacles, Rome persevered. Its resilience, coupled with its ambition, fueled its expansion and cemented its place in history. So, Rome's journey from a small city to a dominant force in the Mediterranean was not an overnight success. It was a long and arduous process. This is just the beginning of our exploration into the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this fascinating period of history. The Roman Republic, a time of great advancement and tumultuous politics. But how did it shape the Rome we know? After the overthrow of the monarchy in 509 BC, Rome transitioned into a period known as the Roman Republic. This was a time of significant change, where Rome was not ruled by a monarch, but by a complex political structure that shared power among various offices and assemblies. The Republic's structure was unique, with the Senate at its heart. The Senate was a body of lifelong members, primarily from Rome's aristocratic class. They held substantial influence over the legislation, foreign policy, and the finances of Rome. 2 consuls, elected annually by the citizens, were at the top of this political structure. These were the highest political office in the Roman Republic, and they held military and judicial authority. The consuls' powers were designed to counterbalance each other, a system known as checks and balances, to prevent any one individual from holding too much power, a concept that has shaped many modern democracies, including the United States. Now let's talk about the Punic Wars, a series of 3 wars fought between Rome and Carthage. These wars were a pivotal point in the Republic's history. The First Punic War saw Rome's naval power rise, while the Second Punic War, famed for Hannibal's daring crossing of the Alps, tested Rome's strength. The Third Punic War resulted in the destruction of Carthage and Rome's uncontested dominance over the Mediterranean. The Roman Republic was a time of great advancement, with significant developments in architecture, literature, and law. However, it was also a period of intense social and political upheaval, with civil wars and power struggles that ultimately led to its downfall and transition into an empire. Despite its eventual fall, the Roman Republic laid the groundwork for the empire that was to come. Its political structure, military strategies, and cultural advancements continue to influence our world today, shaping the Rome we know and the world we live in. From the ashes of the Republic, the Roman Empire arose. But what triggered this significant shift? To fully comprehend this, we need to delve into the turbulent times of the late Roman Republic. A key figure in these times was none other than Julius Caesar, an ambitious and charismatic leader who rose to power and became the Republic's dictator. Caesar was a divisive figure. His reforms, while benefiting the common people, were seen as a threat to the established order. His rise to power signaled the end of the traditional republic, and his reign was marked by a series of reforms that aimed to consolidate his power. However, his reign was short-lived. Concerned about his growing power and potential tyranny, a group of senators led by Brutus and Cassius conspired and assassinated Caesar on the Ides of March, a day in the Roman calendar that corresponds to the 15th of March. This event marked a turning point in Roman history, thrusting the Republic into a civil war. In the wake of Caesar's death, a power vacuum emerged. It was during this chaotic period that a new player entered the scene: Augustus Caesar, Julius Caesar's adopted heir. He skillfully navigated the political landscape, aligning himself with powerful allies like Mark Antony. But as time wore on, their alliance fractured, leading to yet another civil war. Augustus emerged victorious, defeating Mark Antony and his ally, Queen Cleopatra of Egypt, at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC. With his rivals out of the way, Augustus seized the opportunity to reshape the Roman state. In 27 BC, he became the first emperor of Rome, marking the end of the Roman Republic and the start of the Roman Empire. Augustus was a pragmatic and astute ruler. He implemented reforms that stabilized the empire, secured its borders, and fostered an era of peace known as the Pax Romana, or Roman peace. His reign set the tone for the Roman Empire's golden age. Thus, the Roman Empire was born out of chaos, with Augustus Caesar at its helm. What led to the zenith of the Roman Empire, and what triggered its fall? As we delve into the story of Rome, we reach a period known as Pax Romana, a time of relative peace that stretched for over 200 years. This era, from the reign of Augustus in 27 BC until Marcus Aurelius's death in 180 AD, marked the peak of the empire. With its vast territories spanning from the Atlantic Ocean to the Euphrates River, Rome was a beacon of civilization, a hub of culture, commerce, and political power. But even at its zenith, the seeds of decline were already sown. Rome's economy was facing serious challenges. The vast wealth amassed from conquered territories led to a surge in spending. Lavish feasts, gladiatorial games, and monumental buildings were financed by the state, leading to economic troubles. The empire was caught in a vicious cycle of needing more money to maintain its splendor, leading to more conquests, which in turn required more military spending. Furthermore, Rome's over-reliance on slave labor was another factor that contributed to its downfall. The empire was built on the backs of slaves who were used in every aspect of Roman life, from household chores to hard labor in the mines and fields. This reliance on slave labor discouraged technological innovation and created a huge, disgruntled, and potentially rebellious underclass. Lastly, military overspending played a significant role in Rome's decline. The cost of maintaining the vast Roman military machine was enormous. As the empire expanded, so did the need for more soldiers to secure its borders. The financial strain of supporting such a large military force was a constant drain on the Roman economy. In the end, the mighty Roman Empire couldn't escape the inevitable cycle of rise and fall. Despite its grandeur and power, the empire crumbled under the weight of its own ambitions, giving way to the Middle Ages and leaving behind a legacy that continues to shape our world today. The Roman Empire has fallen, but has it truly vanished? Not quite. The Roman Empire, in its grandeur and glory, left a legacy that continues to shape our world today. Its influence permeates many aspects of modern life, from law and language to architecture and government. Let's start with law. The Romans were pioneers in the field of jurisprudence. Their legal principles, such as the right to a fair trial and the concept of innocent until proven guilty, have become cornerstones of many legal systems across the globe. The Roman concept of legal codification, where laws are written down and made public, is still a fundamental part of modern jurisprudence. Now consider language. Latin, the language of the Romans, is the progenitor of the Romance languages: French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and Romanian. Latin terms and phrases are still used in medicine, law, science, and the arts. Even English, though not a Romance language, has been significantly influenced by Latin. Then there's architecture. Roman architectural innovations like the arch, the dome, and concrete have had a lasting impact on building design. The Roman aqueducts, amphitheaters, and roads were feats of engineering that inspire awe even today. Infrastructure as we know it owes much to Roman ingenuity. Finally, we can't overlook the influence of Roman government. The Roman Republic, with its system of representative government, has been a model for numerous modern democracies. The idea of separation of powers, checks and balances, and the concept of a Senate are all Roman in origin. From your local courthouse to the words you speak, from the buildings you admire to the way your country is governed, the legacy of the Roman Empire is all around you. The empire may have crumbled, but its footprint is indelible. Indeed, the Roman Empire may have fallen, but its echoes still resonate in our world today.